Hey you guys, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video I'm going to share with you how to create the most beautiful full wreath DIY for your front door. You guys, I just had the opportunity to travel all the way to Kentucky to teach at a retreat for wreath makers, and I've been so inspired ever since to just come home and give you all of the secrets that you need to know in order to become a wreath maker for selling, to give away to your family, or just to decorate your front door. I met so many ladies there, and some of them actually make these wreaths and donate them to certain profit or non-profit benefit, how's that? Organization. Sorry, Jameson is behind the camera, and he's going to be helping me with some of these words, you guys. So some of these organizations, they are non-profit, and I just thought that was like the sweetest thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding a beautiful bow, and I have this red track and this stripe on it, and I accented it with a plaid and just a solid green and a solid terracotta to go with it. If you don't know how to make this bow, there's going to be a video down below so you guys can go check it out. But what I'm going to do, actually I want to mention real quick that I already went ahead and put my wire hanger so that I can hang it on the door, and by the video's purposes I'm just going to lay it on the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our bow and we're going to go through the loop right here. Now, one of the things I love about going to retreats like this is because you learn so much. Even if you've been a designer for a long time, like I've learned so much from other presenters, you guys. There was 4 of us. It was a friend called Brian, Donna, Dylan, and Mandy. And like I said, I learned so much from them. Sometimes even when you think you've seen it all, you know, the creativity of people is just what inspires me, and I love being around these people. And then also, I said some of the ladies just put out some beautiful work, sometimes even better than mine. I'm like, what are you doing here? You should be on the stage creating these beautiful creations for everybody to learn. I love this ribbon, you guys. This ribbon right here is from Michaels. It's almost like a sackcloth stripe, and I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. And then also this burlap looking red track ribbon, which is beautiful. So one of the tips that I learned from there is to not squish your bow too much into the wreath form, because that way it doesn't look like the wreath is swallowing. I used to really push it back, and then the wreath will be like really tight in it. So from now on, I'm going to be creating my wreaths like this because it really just does create a lot of air. All right, so now I have some of these picks. I have 2 that I've taken apart, and then I made 4 out of it. This is what it looked like, and it also had this right here at the point. So I break them apart into 2, and for this occasion, I'm going to be using my hot glue gun because this wreath will go on Etsy. So if you do not want to create your own, remember that I have an Etsy shop that you can shop around. Some Christmas designs already available. So I'm going to go about 2 inches away from the bow, and I'm gonna go like this, making sure that that kind of flies away. That is one of the things that I explained to the ladies, the flyaways, and a lot of people never heard of it. And it just makes sense because it makes your wreath a lot more airy and a lot more full, and it just creates that bounce that we all like. And let me tell you, I told some stories that I heard from the when I went to the AIFD floral convention, you guys. It is so inspiring. I feel like lately I just been feeling so inspired, and I just want to share everything that I've learned with everybody. So I am creating a private group on Facebook, you guys. If you don't follow me on Facebook, be sure to follow me on Facebook because you will not want to miss all of the DIYs that we'll be sharing on our private group over there. We're working on it right now, me and Jameson, and setting it up. And so stay tuned for that because it's going to be really special. Right, so I'm gonna go up here once again. Just gonna go down, making sure that I go through the form, and remember to always give it a twist because you have to make sure that there is like the money maker, what we call. If you insert your foliage flat like this, it's flat and you don't really get to catch the light. But if you just give it a little bit of a spin, I want to say about an 80-degree spin, then we'll catch the light and it will make it even more special. So now I'm going to grab one of these David Christopher foliages, and I'm going to insert right here on the top. And I'm going to just add some of this oak all throughout. Let me see. Yeah. I want it to be very airy. Like I said, you know, that is one thing that I pride myself on, to creating some designs that really have some air. And then, you know, the specialty is the flyaways. Like I said, I really wanted to bounce on the door every time that you close that door. I just think it is so beautiful if you have that movement. And so that's why I like to really let them stick out. You don't want to push them too far in. Let's see, this one, I think I can get 2 out of it. Don't be afraid to cut your foliages. I'm always telling you to not be afraid to cut your foliages, because you're going to get more bang for your buck doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this guy right here. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So we're creating this 3-dimensional feeling. I have 2 more. It's so important to know also, that's one of the things I stressed at that retreat, that is so important to know how many pieces you're working with, because that you have to divide between the top and all the way around. And also don't forget to come in here to make it feel and look fuller. It's all about creating that balance, you guys. And that is what I love to tell people when I'm teaching at one of these retreats. It's all about outside and inside. See how this one right here, then also you have to have some on the inside, because that just starts to create that beautiful, bountiful look that I just absolutely love. Oh, look, I have 2 more, great. I thought I was done with this oak. So as I was telling you, stay tuned for our Facebook group, because I'm going to be teaching a lot more there over there. And then also, I've decided that for this holiday season, you guys, we're going on tour. We're going to be doing many of these retreats, because I really love having that experience of teaching in person. It is so much fun to get to know you, to teach you in person, and to just hear your stories, whether it's for your shop, whether you're selling, or whether it's for a family member. I just love hearing, you know, how you get started on the wreath making world, how you came across the channel. But just being in person, it really did inspire me so much, you guys. I came home and I was just telling Jameson how inspired I felt by everybody there. And I always like to tell people that the best inspiration comes from somebody else's inspiration, and I truly believe that's true. I was told that by a magnificent designer out of Kansas. She had a beautiful store. She sold it a few years back, but couldn't retire because she started another business. And she's the one that told me, because I asked her one day, how do you get so much inspiration? Because every time we went to her shop, it was just absolutely jaw-dropping, right? And so she said, you know, Ramon, the best inspiration always comes from others' inspiration, and we just have to pay attention, she said. And ever since, I just been paying attention how other people do things. I try to get inspired. And one thing I told the ladies at the retreat, you know, because you have so many designers and teaching, and I just always like to tell them to get the tips and the tricks, but always make the designs personal. You don't want to be a copy of somebody else's. It's okay if you copy the design, that's totally fine. Like I said, everyone's inspiration is others' inspiration, but there's gotta be something to your design that just says, you know what, this was done by Jameson, or you know what, this was done by Ramon, because it is our personal touch. And that's what people fall in love with. So I want to encourage to always give it a personal touch, whether it comes down to your greenery placement, or whether it's about your design in general. Just go ahead and get those tips and tricks from everybody that you're learning from, and then just give them a twist and make it your own. All right, so I'm adding this. I feel like I'm talking about, like I'm telling you, I feel so inspired that I just cannot wait to go on this tour so that I can get to meet you and everybody will learn from these wreaths. But this last one that I added is from Hobby Lobby. Once again, I just break them apart and I start to adding them all throughout the wreath. Remember, this is your core right here, and everything has to shoot out from both sides. This wreath also would look beautiful if we did it like this, but because my wreath, my ribbon has a print, it has to hang down so you can see that print. Otherwise, it would just look out of place. All right, you guys, so give me a second while I get the florals ready, and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. And I'm back. For this design, I chose some of these beautiful flower, and this is going to be kind of like our filler. One of the things that I also, I noticed at that retreat, you guys, is that we all have different tastes. A lot of people were saying how much they hate hydrangeas, and the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like my favorite flower. How can you hate hydrangeas? Some other people are like, oh, I just hate, what's the name of that flower? It's right now summer flower. Hang on, give me a second while I think. It just went away. But they dislike a thing that I like, and I just like I tell them, oh, I just as much as I can use the mesh, that deco mesh. I was like, it's not my favorite, but they all love it. So it's all about personal taste. And it's about how comfortable you feel about designing. And I stressed out to the ladies, it's like whatever I like or dislike, that's my personal taste. You guys, I ran out of glue, so let me grab one. It's a personal taste, but just because I love it doesn't mean that you have to love it, or just because I hate it doesn't mean you have to hate it. And so I just, that's personal. And so I always tell people, it's okay. You don't have to love it because I love it. You don't have to hate it because I hate it, and it's a personal thing. Geraniums, that's a flower that I was thinking of. So many people hate geraniums. I don't know why, because I think they're so beautiful and so easy to work with, whether fresh or artificial. I just absolutely love geraniums. Right, I have this tiny little one. Now, one thing that I also told the ladies, I was seeing that a lot of the wreath makers, and this is a mistake you want to like avoid, is that they put their greenery and they push it so far in that they don't give it time to breathe, and therefore it gets really hidden, and so you don't see it. So what you want to do is not push your greenery so much in to where you won't see it. You want it to once again fly away. So that way, when you close the door, especially this like right here, because it has a heavier head, it all bounces when you close the door, or when the wind is catching, oh, it just looks so beautiful. Everybody is like, Ramon, you're full of secrets. I'm like, well, I've been in the industry for so long now that every time I go somewhere, I just try and pay attention, so that way I can come back and teach you guys about design and all of the things that I've learned, in the past 15 years. I'm going into 15 years in this industry. Good Lord, time flies when you're having fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of these sunflowers. These, you guys, are from David Christopher's, and I just absolutely love them. And once again, we're gonna let them fly away. We don't want them to be so tight in there that we're gonna lose them on our design. So we're gonna add a little glue. Be generous with your glue, because you want this to really attach to the wreath and not, close the door and all your flowers come crashing down. And I just like to use this Gorilla Glue sticks, and you can find those wherever glue sticks are sold. There's so many, sellers of glue, Amazon, Walmart. I'll try to have some of my shop when I decide to open up my shop. One of these days, like I told Jameson, one of these days. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add one right here. Let's see, over on this side. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. So we want to make sure that we have the same flower all throughout. And this really tall one, I'm going to use to add to the top and let it just go down like this. I'm gonna add this guy right here, like that, because we want all of sunflowers to go all throughout our flowers or wreath. Let's see. I think I'm gonna add one right here. I told the ladies that a trick that if you see me working, and if you see a spot where you're like, oh, Ramon should put one there, like if you thought, oh, you know what, he needs one right here, and if I went ahead and put it right there, that means that you have really good eye for design. You basically can predict where somebody else is going to put a flower. That means that you have a really good eye for design. And a lot of people there, I want to say most, I want to say all of them, they're there for a reason. They're there because they want to learn, right? So they're there because they're wanting to make a business out of it. And so obviously they have some talent, and they're trying to refine their talent, which I admire so much, which is what I do. Like I said, I like to go to these conventions and these retreats to learn, because at the end of the day, I'm a teacher, so I'm trying to teach as much as I can learn, because it is truly my joy to teach the sign. All right, so now I have some of these really pretty accent flower. This is going to be our flyaway, you guys. This is from at home. And that is another thing I want to talk to you about. All your flowers can be from all over the place. You know, like I've collected or I purchased flowers. I've been collecting for a while now. But I've purchased flowers from at home, from Hobby Lobby, from Walmart, from Shinoda, from some online shops, from David Christopher's, you name it. It is our duty to give our customers the best, and I always like to try and get some really good quality products. So that way that, you know, like I said, when people get the wreaths on the door, they just look absolutely gorgeous. Because who doesn't like a beautiful, beautiful wreath? And so this one, I'm trying to let it fly away. So here's a secret. When you grab your flowers, always give me a little bit of a curvature like this. And when you curve down, that's where we want to put our glue. And when you curve up, you want to make sure that you insert no further than that, because that's what's going to give us that flyaway motion. Let's see. I feel like we need one on the very top. So I'm going to add one and just smear that glue on it. Be very generous. When you are making your wreaths to sell, remember that you have to charge for all of that, whether it's the glue, the box, your time. And I'm going to be teaching all of this on my private group, you guys, because I really want to help you succeed in selling wreaths if this is something that you want to do. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, come on over and follow, because this is something that me and Jameson are working on really hard to help you be the best wreath maker, seller. Okay, I'm gonna add right here. I'm gonna add this guy right there. All right, I have this berry that came with one of the, you know what, I'm gonna add it, why not? I already paid for it. That is another thing that I told the ladies, you know, if you already cut it and if it came with it, don't save it, just add it to it, because that way you're not gonna be left with a whole bunch of things that then you're gonna be, if you're anything like me, you'll have all these things just sitting there. All right, you guys, so I have some of this fern that has some glitter, but you know what, I'm not gonna add it. I'm not gonna go ahead and add it, and because I have already pre-cut it, it's going in the trash. I'm not saving it because, like I said, I don't want to have all this stuff just laying around. Now, I have these cute pumpkins. Jason, do you think you need some pumpkins or no?
Yes, all pumpkins.
Okay, Jason says yes. So what we're going to do is actually we're gonna try and get that stem out like that, and I'm going to add them kind of like a flower. So I'm going to add plenty of glue, and then because I don't want them to all be straight up, so I'm gonna open right here, and I'm going to insert, because I want it to be kind of sideways like that and kind of hidden on my design. So I have 4, so I'm gonna add one. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. We're gonna add some glue right here, more like sideways like this. And then I'm going to insert one right here, like so. I'm gonna add one over on this side, and I think that'll be all. Let me see. Yeah, I feel like we need one, and I'm gonna put it on the inside. So remember to add the glue like almost towards the edge of it. And then that way you can insert like this, and I'm gonna put it right here, somewhere right here, like that. You know what, don't mind me, I'm gonna disappear. I do have the 4th one that fell out, so I'm gonna get that stem out, and I'm going to add it maybe toward the top. And this one is going to be sideways like this, so I'm going to just go ahead and open right here to do a clean drop. Move my ribbon, we don't want all this glue by the ribbon, and that's just going to bring all of that to the wreath. Look how pretty this turned out. Remember, this is going to be on my Etsy shop. If you don't want to make it but you love it, just be sure to check out my Etsy shop. The link is down below. I'm gonna grab a few more things, you guys, and I'll be right back with you. We're almost done. Keep watching. All right, so I am back, and I have pre-picked some of this extra ribbon, this burlap ribbon. It is so cute. You have to dovetail because it does make it look more finished, and I always like to tell people that if I come to your home and if your ribbon's not dovetail, most likely I'm gonna ask you for a pair of scissors so that I can do it myself. But look how cute this is. It's a double tail. Then we're going to add some glue to it. And I have a set, so I'm gonna open right here. I'm just gonna insert this tail right here. And what this is going to do is just going to elongate our bow a little bit. And just be sure, look, I love this ribbon because it has a really good wire. And just by running your fingers through it, look at that, it curls and it looks so pretty. So once again, I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to come over to this side and kind of move some things around and just insert this right here, like this. Play with it a little bit. Then I have this longer green one, and I think this is gonna come down. So I'm going to just add some glue right here. And I'm gonna move my bow. I'm just gonna come up here. Look at that, that brings the green from this bow all the way to this side. I have a green one too, but I think I'm gonna put it on the top. So I'm gonna add some glue right here. And I'm gonna curl it a little bit, and I'm going to just go ahead and put it right here so I can see it. Where I can see it, like that. All right, you guys, so this is it. I'm gonna put it in the door and I'll show you the end result. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so here is the end result of our first fall wreath for the season. Isn't this also gorgeous? Look at the ribbon, how cute, with the pumpkins and the truck and all of the sunflowers from David Christopher's, the ribbons, the variety of ribbons and the pumpkins. It is just absolutely cute. I really hope that you enjoyed this DIY. Be sure to leave the hashtag Wreaths. And don't forget to follow me on my private group on Facebook for more DIYs coming your way. How pretty with the wind.